Thank you to Pilates Studio of Rye for kindly sponsoring today's video. Hi Ryemarkable Moms, I'm Liz Woods, and I'm here to continue my Summer in Rye series. Today we talk travel. A lot of us travel during the summer to rest, relax, spend time with family, but today I talk with Megan Monaghan. She's a Rye mom who recently spent time away from her family on a service learning trip to Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. Megan is a teacher. She's been teaching for 13 years. Currently she's teaching in Greenwich, but she's taught in places like India and Morocco, and she's the type of teacher who you just pray that your children get when they walk into school on the first day in September. Today, Megan shares what inspired her to take this trip to South Dakota, some heart-wrenching statistics about life on the reservation, and the lifelong lessons she's learned by visiting. Before we begin today, I just want to say a personal thank you to all teachers in our community. As a mom of 4 kids, I am personally thankful for all of your patience and dedication to working with our kids. Okay, here we go. Hi guys, I'm here today with Megan Monaghan. Megan is a teacher at Sacred Heart Greenwich, and recently she took a trip to Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, and she's here today to tell us all about her trip. Thank you so much for being here, Megan.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
Oh, well, I'm the one who's honored. So can you tell us what inspired you to take this trip and a little bit about the reservation?
So Sacred Heart Greenwich has a club in their upper school called the Pine Ridge Club. Pine Ridge is the Lakota Reservation out in South Dakota, and this is a club of upper school students with some faculty members who have a relationship with the Red Cloud Indian School, which is a private school on the Lakota Reservation. And throughout the year, there are different fundraising opportunities, pen pals, we have an exchange between the schools. And as I said, I was just so fascinated by the Lakota culture. I was so interested to learn more about that and to just do something different that I joined the club. And while I was a part of this club, I learned that their 5th grade class at the Red Cloud School wanted to read the book Wonder, which is like an amazing book, and one that my 5th grade class reads. And so the Red Cloud School wanted to read this book, wanted to add this book to their curriculum, but could not afford to buy copies for their students. They needed 130 copies. So we decided to make this a mission. We had a couple bake sales, we had a book drive, and got the books with arcade booksellers' help, and we sent 130 copies to the reservation with the hope of now we can have a book club with them, like do Skype sessions, read together, do like a community read between Sacred Heart and the Red Cloud School. And after that moment, we just had a friendship. And so a faculty member from Red Cloud came and visited Sacred Heart, and I spent time with him. And so this was just the beginning of, you know, my learning about the reservation and the connection between the school.
Wow. Can I ask, what was your daily schedule? You were there for 7 days.
7 days. So we woke up in the morning, had breakfast all together, and then we were at the school by like 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were in classes all day, like running activities in classes, eating with the students, playing with the students, and then after school was over, we would have like community time where we would like go out into the community to meet people. We might have our own kind of classes, like we had classes in Lakota language. We had, we visited the language immersion camp where we learned how to roll a teepee. We participated in some of the traditional dances, the buffalo dance, the rain dance. We did beading workshops. We went to several religious ceremonies. We went to a Catholic ceremony that blended the Catholic and Lakota traditions together. We visited scenic areas like the Badlands and Red Shirt Table. So we probably didn't finish our days until like 11:30.
Wow. Can you tell us, what is life like on a Lakota reservation?
Yes. Well, so something that I noticed right away that really impacted me was just the space. The Pine Ridge Reservation, that is a mouthful, is the size of Connecticut. And it's an enormous amount of land, and there's about 20 to 25,000 people living there, spread out all over this enormous land. So it is vast, absolutely vast. And as far as the eye can see, just green rolling hills. You have the Black Hills, you have a little bit of the Badlands, you have prairie, but it is landscape like I've never seen before.
Wow.
And it's very quiet, and there's not very much development. You know, you could drive for an hour and not see any homes. And so that really struck me, that for people to go grocery shopping, they have to drive 2.5 hours to Rapid City.
Come on.
Yeah. There are...
Do they have farms? Like,
not really. It's not really a farming. There's some ranching, but it's not really a farming community.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think some might find it, I could use the word isolating, but I'm also hesitant to make it, for the people who live there, they love it and it's home. But I imagine for us coming from New York, it's such a shock to see these wide open spaces.
Right.
And just know that you would have to drive 2 hours to see a doctor, 2.5 hours to go to the movie theater. Anything that we have in our lives that's just routine, going to a pharmacy, anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how civilized is it? Do they have electricity?
Yes, most of the homes have electricity there. Not all of the homes, but most of the homes have electricity there. The one thing that I think strikes people immediately about the reservation is there are some discouraging and bleak statistics about life there. So the unemployment rate is 87%. The life expectancy is about 45 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And the suicide rate is 3 times higher than it is nationally. So there are a lot of challenges to living on the reservation. But one thing I want to emphasize is that's what you read if you look up Pine Ridge Reservation on Wikipedia, or maybe when you first arrive there, that's what might strike you. But I wasn't there very long before I immediately realized that there, concurrently with the challenges, are so many like really positive, beautiful things happening too. So I would want to stress that the community is really strong, and there are amazing grassroots projects happening to bring employment, to bring in better healthcare, to strengthen the schools. And that I left my time there feeling really encouraged and optimistic, and just made incredible friendships, and was so impressed and astonished by what I saw there and what I learned.
So obviously on a huge trip like this, you must have learned lots of lessons. What are some things that you took away from this?
So I think one of the most important lessons I learned was the value of having a strong cultural identity, and how that gives people a great sense of resiliency and empowerment and strength for when you go through challenging times. And I also saw the value of having traditions for your community, on how having traditions has brought this community a lot of strength and brought them together to overcome struggles. And I would also share that I learned that America is a really vast and diverse place, and there's lots of different ways to be an American and a lot of different ways for Americans to look. And I felt it was so important for me to learn about this and to understand like just a different way of life. And another idea I learned while I was there, and this was a new thing for me to consider, was about something called intergenerational trauma. And this is the idea that a deep trauma from the past can have far-reaching impact on future people and future communities. And I think the Lakota community, even though there is so much good happening there and so many beautiful things happening, they are still recovering and still healing from traumas that happened many, many generations ago. Respect for elders is huge. They place so much value on the older people in the community for the knowledge that they have and the life that they've lived. And so you would never get up if an elder was speaking, even if the elder was going on and on for hours and hours. Everybody sits and just listens. Nobody looks at their phone. Nobody excuses themselves to go to the bathroom. But this idea of like, you have something valuable to share, and you've been on this planet longer than I have, so I'll listen to you and I'll give you my time. It was so striking. And there were definitely moments where I was sitting somewhere and I was like, I'm a little tired, or I'd like to stretch my legs or whatever. And I had to really use discipline to stay present and look engaged and work on that new kind of showing respect. Being on this trip reminded me of how amazing it is to learn and how amazing it is to connect with new people and to get out of your comfort zone and try something new. So I think it was such an important growing experience for me. What I saw, the people I met, what I learned, I will have with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching today. Ryemarkable Moms is all about sharing our positive stories and inspiring one another to make the world a better place. And I'm so happy to be part of a community with moms like Megan who are doing that every single day. If you haven't already done so, please hit the red subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends. Hope to see you guys soon.